I am not dead. Just really, really terrible at making videos. So I found a sketchbook, and I figured I would do a sketchbook tour, because why the hell not? So these were ones I did like 2 to 3 years ago when I worked at an insurance company, and phone calls are incredibly boring, and I didn't really have too much access to the internet because we weren't supposed to get on that, but mostly ballpoint pen stuff. TU-22. I don't know what, I think that's a sunburn. I cannot for the life of me remember the missiles, but God, these are horrible. It's amazing to think how far you can come in 2 to 3 years time if you keep doing stuff. So you'll gradually see a little bit more progression in how I figured out how to use the pen. These were all with the Pilot Precise because I had an obsession with them. I still do. I wrote something, drew something with them the other day. And started with the cartoon stuff partly because I did not have the photos to look at. I did get in trouble once or twice for looking at photos at work. I think it was that one, honestly. No, it wasn't. I don't remember. But anyways. Hey, ex-girlfriend. Some kind of Alfa Romeo. That was, shoot, that was 3 years ago, so yeah. 2015. Terrible. That was a painting that I kind of I copied to a point, but I changed it up a bit because, you know, didn't have the photo to look at. I just got on it on break time and studied it for as long as I could and see what I could come up with. Tried to draw people and fail at it. Sometimes I wish I could do as good as I did back then, but then again, Hurricane Pilot, check. Richard Bong in a P-38. Some of these I just never quite finished. I like that one. That one was fun. Winnie the Pooh is a machine gunner. I think he's seen some hard times, maybe. Like I said, unfinished. I did that one for a friend of mine in Germany. That was pretty cool. Oh. Spitfire internals. I did have a photo for that one. That may or may not be the one that I got in trouble for. And there's another one in here too that I did. Some of these were after work. I have slept since then, but I was trying to figure out how to get different tones and shading with the ballpoint, and I think it worked out. One of my friend's Miata. The ever popular Reliant Robin in its natural environment on its side. I think I tore that one out to scan it. Anyways, this was also no photo reference. of a P-47. It's all wonky, but, you know. No photos. And there's a little tiny Fiat G50 down here. I don't know if you can see that. Let me zoom in on it. Yeah, that is tiny. Let me figure out how to get this zoom back where I had it. Yay, iPhone problems. And there's also I took a quarter, because I started there and just ended up not liking it. But that's definitely the inside of B29, or we'll say a TU4. Make it interesting. There it is. That's the other one I had photo for. Oh, that was Red 7. Oh, I think EADS had that one. I know it had a landing accident a few years ago, but I don't know if it's flying again after that. Okay, so those of you who know me on Instagram have probably seen my camouflaged Jetta that is, RIP. I had major plans for it, and one of those plans was a fake missile launcher that I'd be able to control, and maybe a hatch with a machine gun, kind of an exoskeleton thing. That never happened, never will happen. Don't get offended, it's art. Some of these were my favorite types. That was the first ME-109 to see combat, the A model, with Spanish Air Force, or one of the two Spanish Air Forces. No, 108. I was still trying to figure out how to cartoon things, and I finally got some colored pencils at that time. That was still 2015. I don't know what month, because I didn't put the month in. Wish I had. But I just did requests on Instagram and whatnot. And these were some of them. G2. This is actually not a P-35, I don't think. I can't remember, but I think it's an AT-12. Either way, it's the same airframe, basically. But there's one currently flying in Chino. If you haven't seen it, look it up. They got a bunch of good videos. Planes of Fame has it. And there is a Hawker Typhoon, not the cool car door with the bubble top. I think that was a request too, because if it was up to me, I would have drawn the car door, because that's my favorite. I'm shallow. Looks are everything. Oh. Another kind of terrible airplane. But at least the shape started getting better. Bulgarian D520. That was another request. I remember that one. Guy that I had talked to on Instagram was from Bulgaria, and he requested that. Actually, no, I think it was iFunny. I don't remember. I say I don't remember a lot, but then again, I don't remember a lot. Or no photo stuff. Junk. Nerdy stuff. And this one was fun. More no photo stuff. It's a Rebel pilot checking out the F4, and a F4 pilot checking out the snow speeder. kind of a what if thing. That was also no photo, which I was actually pretty proud of. Starfighter and a starfighter, of course. ARC-170 and A-10. I just figured a lot of similarities there. I did have photos for that one. And we're still in 2015. There we go, 2016. We went back in skill level there. But I actually found this guy on Facebook after I drew this. Or I think somebody found it, because I'd posted it to Instagram, and then they tagged the guy who owned it. I think Sounds Air's from New Zealand. Anyway, I know that was a request because that's one that I probably wouldn't have picked. I did that one with pictures that the guy sent me. The owner that... Yeah, it's a Cherokee 140. More different stylings, I guess. Tomahawk, which I might be flying this weekend. Not this weekend because it's Saturday, but next weekend. But not this one, VH. That's Australia. I'm in Texas, if you can't tell by my horrible accent. And bush pilots and bush planes are one of the things I really like, and I wanted to try something with the sunset or sunrise. I'm not sure which. Depends on which way he's facing, I guess. Started putting reflections in the blades and everything. Aeroflot, Airbus. I am kind of obsessed with Russian stuff. I wouldn't call me a Rusboo, as several have, but it does kind of borderline on obsession. I can't really speak it, but I can read it. This looked like a spaceship. Hey, ink smudge. I think that's probably why I never finished it. It just pissed me off. Yay, more Russian stuff. And 24, I think that was a Clank? Or is that the Coot? I don't know, one of y'all can correct me. More really tiny stuff. I do remember this being at work. Also no photos used in that, but really, really tiny stuff. And if you can identify the ones that I don't have marked, I will give you at least 13.2 internet points. So it's those two. More Russian stuff. Cold War stuff. Probably my favorite stuff to do is Cold War, Vietnam era stuff. Most of my family was involved in it in some way, shape, or form, so it kind of rubbed off. Sort of my interpretation of what a B-25 would look like on tank treads, with like the flexy buses and stuff. I always thought those were cool. A lot of grill. Wait, no, that's not a lot of. That's a guy's Volga. 3rd generation. Right fang. More colored pencil stuff. stuff I never finished. Let me go back a couple. I don't think I'd had an idea to, you know, if I ever got an F-106, make a car out of it. Let's see, where was I? More Jetta plans. Bar doors, lift, offer. Oops, I ran out of memory on my phone. Yay, iPhones. So, picking back up, almost done. It's an RE8. Inside of a Mosquito. Beach Canson. PV2 or no, it's British. It's a I don't remember. I can see it in my head, but I don't remember. The Japanese submarine. And then the Winged Hussars arrived, unfinished. Yep, that was it. Alright, so, and that's where it cut off. Oh. But you don't need to hear any more about that. That's lame. But anyways, I've been getting cool decals of the newer stuff, and a couple older ones that pass my quality control. But I think it's pretty cool. So I guess go ahead and check out my Etsy. That's where these are, and I will be updating about every 2 weeks, maybe sooner. I got another decal order, should be here Tuesday, and that one of those will be up there on it. Redbubble, I got a bunch of other ones that are print on demand. You know how that works. If you don't, I make very little money off of those, so but I don't care because it's kind of like free idle money. Kind of allows me to do other things, like, you know, buy the monsters that keep me alive, and ramen, traditional, you know, artist diet, but got a few air shows coming up which you may or may not see me at, and I'm not 100% sure I'm attending any of them but Reno, the Reno air races. I'll be up there. That's the in-pin not challenge, what's the word I'm looking for? Plan. Yeah, plan. Hoping to have a few racers done by then to, you know, pass out to people and, you know, see how far I can take this aviation thing. So I had originally planned on setting up there, but that's $3,000 to do that in the pits. And that is a lot of money for an upstart. I mean, I've been doing this like as a job for right around a year, so I don't know. Slow going, but then again, a year's not a long time, so feel free to check all that out. So carb heat cold, transponder set to altitude, throttle full, and let's get the hell out of this airspace.